Hello and welcome back to the Weekly Huddle YouTube channel. I'm your host, Owen, and I'd like to introduce you to one of the newer segments I'm looking to do on the channel, and I'm actually the most excited about this one probably. If any of you know me personally or ever want to try talking football with me, you will know that I am the biggest draft nerd you will ever meet, ever. In my free time, I like to spend hours and hours just studying players' draft profiles and watching their film, heading up to the draft, basically being my own kind of scout. So I decided that I was going to turn my process I do, into like a little show itself on this channel. And it's probably going to be my favorite one I do. Be the most informative I have on this. So I was thinking starting out with just doing the Bills draft picks for this past draft, which, of course, their first pick was in the second round, which was AJ Epenesa. I believe it was 54th overall. D-end out of Iowa. He is number 94. And they did this, obviously, to replace Shaq Lawson, which was one of their key losses from the offseason. And I think they went about the right way of doing it, because he's definitely someone who can come in and play that Shaq Lawson role. He's someone who's a bigger DN, 285, that can set the edge against the run, your strong side end, that can also add a little bit of pass rush to you. And even when, I think it was like 2 or 3 off seasons ago, they were testing Lawson out at a 3-tech D tackle on passing downs, just so he can get that interior pressure going. Now with that, Oliver, you don't need to do that anymore with Epenesa, but we'll get into that in a little bit. He's going to be one of those guys that maybe you don't have him on the edge on passing downs, but he will be a solid starter and even could develop into a really high-end edge rusher from the outside as well as the interior. So we're going to start off with his film against Michigan here. This is all from 2019. Just to give you a sense of how good this Michigan offensive line he's facing against is, they had their left tackle, Michael Onwenu, was a 6th-round pick. Left guard John Runyon was a 6th-round pick. Cesar Ruiz, a center, who he does go against him a little bit in this film, was 24th overall to New Orleans. And then right guard Ben Bredesen, who I believe was their right tackle, or maybe he was still playing right guard, I'm not sure. But he was also a 6th-round, or he was a 4th-round pick. I'm sorry. So we have 2 6th-round picks, a 24th overall pick, and a 4th-round pick on this offensive line that he's going against, and he does very good against all of them. Now, this first pick, I'm going to use my little mouse here to show you where he is. He's up here in this right end of the edge. It's usually where he lines up. In college, I don't really expect him to have as much of a strong side, weak side end thing. In the NFL, and especially in McDermott's scheme, they probably will. So you might see him lined up more over here on this left side, where number 57 would be. But we're going to go through his first play here. So the snap goes off. Good first step. He's got a good first step when he comes out. You see the ball's just getting to the quarterback's hands, and he's already into the offensive lineman. It's not like an elite one, so like that is where you'd scout him and say like, oh, that's an amazing first step, which is the thing with Epenesa. He isn't an amazing athlete, but he can get what you want him to do, and he does it good. He, especially when I'm looking at D-end tape, I look more for technique, like how pro ready is your technique, more than elite physical traits. Like, of course, you want elite physical traits, but especially where the Bills were picking, I wasn't expecting them to get some super raw, just physical specimen. I'd rather have them pick up a technical D-end who can get in there and still perform at a high level in the NFL without having to have the amazing bend and things, which we'll get into later. So he gets a good first step off here, gets some hands on, he goes around the tackle. So I mean, I believe, all I had for this one was his first step was pretty good on this. He takes him out of the play a little bit, but I don't know if that was a coaching thing where they told him just to get upfield in case the quarterback kept it. That could just be a coaching thing, but he gets upfield, the running back gets a lane, but I just wanted to show that he has the explosive first step that you're looking for as an edge player. So on his next play, he's going to be the same position up here, the right end. Then this one is for, he gets a good, so they try to run a similar play again where it's like a cross read where they make you think, oh, the running back or the quarterback could have it. Last time he chose quarterback, this time he also goes quarterback again, so he makes a good read. He comes down flat a little bit too first, and he's in a position to wrong arm the defender, but the defender isn't even looking to block him, he's just looking to go into the pass route. So they mesh here, and he stays flat to the running back for a second. So that way, if they give him the running back, he's still there for cleanup. But then he realizes, okay, quarterback has it still, and then turns and goes after it. Now, he doesn't have the longest of arms or range, which is what you'll see here. He misses a few tackles like this, where he'll just be out of reach. But he gets the pressure. He's there. He's making the play. He's not like that elite athlete that'll make that will able to capitalize on play, but he's there and able to force the quarterback to not be field. If he wasn't there would just be this number 95 coming. Shea Patterson wouldn't be forced to quickly change and throw this pass up because he's already off balance now as Epenesa swiped at his legs. So now he's got more pressure. He just made a good read on the play. Basically, he's a smart player, but he has some physical limitations that made him drop to the second round. Okay, on this next play, same spot, right at the end. We're up here. I couldn't get it to where he was already in the before pre-snap anyway. So it's right after the snap happens. So he gets that first step off. So now we see here, he comes in, and he takes his one arm. So he long arms the offensive lineman, which is where, if anyone doesn't know what a long arm is, you take your arm, if you can get hands on first, which is key for any line play. If you want to succeed as a lineman, offensive defense, you need to get hands on first. He gets his hands on this offensive lineman first, and then proceeds to just bench him off. You see how this is the pocket right here. The quarterback needs this to stay calm and find his reads and process it without feeling the pressure. Epenesa collapses the pocket as he forces his offensive lineman off balance with his power and then backs him into him. Eventually, if Patterson holds his ball for another second or two, he's getting sacked. Even with this other lineman coming over to help double team, Epenesa is splitting the double team, pushing the offensive lineman completely off balance, and he has to dump off to his safe read, his little go-to pass out route. Whenever he feels the pressure, he's like, okay, I need to get this ball away or I'm going to get sacked, because Epenesa has that pressure on him. This guy isn't doing it. These two aren't even close to him. He still has this little bit of pocket right here, except for he feels the pressure on his blind side. So he's forced to get away with it because Epenesa uses his power to just bully the offensive lineman and get him into wanting to get that ball away. And it all has to do with his strength. He's a big boy at the end. He's not like Jerry Hughes, I believe, is like 250, 260. He is 285. That's the size of a D tackle. And he can just use his power on these more nimble, lighter on their feet offensive tackles, because they have to be able to get out there for speed rushers. He's just bullying him back into his own quarterback and forces him to miss even the little dump-off pass he was going to use for his little hot route there. Okay, so then on this next one, it's another good showing of his power. The last one, his biggest trait for me probably would be his power at the edge position, which is why I said he'd be great for setting the run on the edge and all those things with as a DN that you want on your strong side against the run. He will be able to go and just back offensive linemen up and be able to, even, like I said, with his pass rushing stuff, his technique is good. It's not amazing. His pass rushing technique specifically, he could work on a couple things. But he has that strength you want in a D tackle, but even better at a DN. Also having some of that burst you're looking for. And so this is another power clip. Totally just turns the offensive lineman inside out. He's right here. This offensive lineman is trying to protect his inside. The quarterback's going to be on his inside, so he's trying to protect this area. Epenesa gets hands-on and turns him to where his inside shoulder is basically pointing towards the quarterback. If Patterson doesn't get this ball away fast enough, it's another sack. Turns him in, completely off balance. Epenesa has one, he's basically touching him. And again, there's still a pocket over here with these guys, so you can see how much better Epenesa is than his teammates, especially since, again, this left tackle here was a 6th round draft pick, which means a team valued him enough to draft him, say, like, okay, we can build him up to be in our offensive line, even as a backup. So he's an NFL caliber tackle. Maybe not starting, but still NFL caliber, and he's getting completely destroyed on this simple bull rush technique. So all it is getting hands-on and dropping your pad level to push him back. I mean, he gets the pass off, so as an offensive lineman, he did his job. He allowed the quarterback to get the pass off. but there's pressure in his face, so he might not have been able to make the read he wanted to. And it was just, he got bullied. That's what it was. Now, the play ends up working for them as the quarterback gets it off and the receiver gets it, but it's still a detriment. It still shows how good Epenesa is at getting after the quarterback using his power specifically. Now he's over on here. He's going to be on the right-hand side of the D-line again, but just going this way. So the snap comes off. He gets hands on first. It's easy. It's like hands on first. They were pretty much similar, but he is able to get his hands on. He's moving through. Does a little head fake here, left to the right. Just get the tackle guessing, and then uses his power just to throw him off. He has his hands on. This is what hands on is great. He has him in his grip. So you can't get, like, he's controlling you right now. Like, when you have your hands on first and you're in the inside of their pads, you can control them no matter where you want to go. If you want to make them go left, they go left. If you want to go right, they go right. So what he does is, since the lineman still has his hands on him as well, just a little bit, he gives him a little head fake, so the lineman is like, okay, so he's going to try to go inside. He's going to kick inside to try to prevent that. He leans. And as soon as he catches him leaning, you know that he can pull him down and get him completely off balance and off of him completely. So he pulls him down, loses it. He's totally off balance, gets around the edge, and sacks him. Even he shrugs off this little chip from the... Oh, I think that might have been... that was the... So this other offensive lineman comes and chips him. He just disregards it, gets a sack. So it's all power and knowing how an offensive lineman's working here. He knows the lineman is going to, if he gives him a little fake, the lineman's going to be biased towards the inside. And as soon as he ducks, as soon as he leans, he's like, I got him. Pulls him down, shows that strength, and then gets in for the sack. So in this clip, he's lined up at this D-tackle spot. He's away from the center itself. So he's over in the, so it's he's in the B gap on I believe it's the 4 shade, 3 shade. He's 3 technique right now. He's in the 3 shade of the guard, while this guy is more towards the 2 shade of this guard. So the center's probably gonna go to him. This is where like Ed Oliver and them will play. This is the D tackle position where you want to shoot gaps. You're 1-on-1 with the guard. If you get a 1-on-1 with the guard, you want a guy here who has the speed or the power to be able to overpower that 1-on-1 battle with a less athletic, more bulky player. That's why you want speed guys, because the guards are usually bulkier, not as fast. So you've got speed guys to outget them. But Oliver is one of those guys. He has the agility, the get off, to get around big, bulky guys like that. That's why he was a 9th overall pick. Epenesa, he doesn't have the elite agility or speed that guys like Oliver have, but he has the power to be able to match up with these guard guys, as well as a little more agility than the guards would have, because he's an edge player. Edge players obviously are going to have more agility than normal, like a star Lutalele player. So he has agility mixed with power. Alright, for the next clip, here he is on the edge again. This is less of a play that it's like the running back is going to take the ball this way. He's away from the play in general. You just get to see that he gets his hands on this tackle and he has good run lane discipline, because when he has the edge, he has the outside contain, he has these 2 gaps. He has the 2 gap this right here. The running back goes outside, he has to disengage and get upfield, and he doesn't have the complete outside contain. That's what this corner would have, but he has to man the cutback lanes basically. So the running back's gonna go here. He's gonna just lock up with his guy, but keep him. He benches him off of him. He gets good hands on him, and he's able to just watch the run lanes. So here we go. Gets hands off. If this running back is going this way, because look at this long way, great run blocking here. But if he goes this way at all, he hasn't benched off. He tries to go this way, just gap. He's gonna throw the lineman this way, get him. He's gonna try to go this way. He's gonna throw the lineman off, get him this way. He has great run fits. He'll be able to man the run on that cutback lane, or even on the strong side when he has 2 guys chipping him. Like, look how easy he disengages from this tackle here. The tackle might know that, okay, the run play is going the opposite direction, but if he cut back the other way, Epenesa just has a lane. He's going to take him. So, it's just a summary of all his cons from this game. I know we've talked about a lot of good pros, but just the only real cons we've seen in this game is his lack of consistent burst and hand technique, this is what this play is probably gonna exemplify that the most. He gets upfield, which is good. So he's in the area you want him to be. Again, he's up here. But when he gets up there, he doesn't get enough burst to be able to get the edge. He doesn't use his hands to maybe try to like cut back inside, or he has the ability to cut back inside while trying to go full speed this way. So it ends up just him just dancing with the tackle and having no pressure. The quarterback gets a perfect pocket, like perfect pocket here, and is able to just make a touchdown pass. So we're gonna have him down here. And just his hand placement. He long arms that. He gets right in that right pad, the right pad of the offensive line. He's got his left arm all the way up in his shoulder pad, and he just totally throws him off balance. He's already kind of off balance. You see that foot's kind of up, but he just takes his arm with the power in his one arm alone, just totally just throws his offensive tackle off balance and collapses that pocket. The quarterback's forced to roll out this way because Epenesa even though he has 3 guys on him, because the guard from D tackle loses that match and just goes, okay, I'm going to chip him. He just forces the quarterback to not be able to use that side of the offensive line and lets the rest of the team. He contributes enough that his other team gets the sack from him just totally bullying that left tackle. And that's what you want to see in your DNs. Especially, for me personally, I want a strong side DN to be able to do that. Okay, so we have him over here. This one is more of a con. He doesn't have... Again, this is his lack of burst and allowing the lineman to get his hands on him, which will happen from time to time in this film. So yeah, like before how I said, like, oh, everyone else was on the line while he was getting into them. He's the last one to get up off the snap right here. I don't know if he was tired. It's a first down, and I believe it should be after punt, so I don't know why he isn't getting up there, but everyone else is already up, getting up into their alignment. He's still down in the stance. So he needs to work on a consistent burst, but usually he has it to where he's not this slow off the ball. And then the lineman just gets hands on him, and he can't do anything. He's just sitting here dancing. The running back is over. He's just dancing. There's nothing. He's not getting any pressure on the quarterback, which is just something he's going to have to work on. Okay, so he's up top again here. So this is another play against the run. He just gets... Like I said, he benches that lineman off of him. There's no way. A lot of DNs aren't as strong as he is, especially just coming out of college. He's going to be go to an NFL weight room, especially one with the Bills, where they have like the best like weight room, just overall facilities in the NFL because they're so brand new. He's going to get there. He's going to get even more strong. He's going to be able to bully these offensive tackles. So he totally pushes offensive tackle. This offensive tackle is supposed to be reaching his outside shoulder. This is a sweep play where this running back's gonna take this ball and try to get to the numbers. This offensive tackle is gonna try to get out here and block him inside to set an edge here. He's gonna come in, bench him off of him, and then be able to set his own edge. It's basically a competition. Who can set the edge better? Epenesa beats him out cleanly here by benching him, throwing him off balance with his power, and being able to set the edge against the run. Comes back inside. Gets the tackle. That's what you want from your DN. Now he only picked up 2. It's a 3rd and 2 instead of a first down. He's lined up here. And he's more of a one tech in this one. And he's actually, I could see he's like head up on the guard. Both D tackles are head up on the guard. He's playing D tackle. He shows amazing get off for a guard or for a D tackle here. It's like Ed Oliver-esque when he was in college, where he can just get off and beats his guard clean and gets in the quarterback's face, forcing a bad pass. Boom. So the guard's already beat. The snap. He's on. What is that? He gets the ball. 1, 2, 3. He's on step 4 of his 5-step drop, and the guard's already beaten. Epenesa is about to be in his face. Now, the guard does a little holding here, so we're not going to talk about that, but he would have gotten cracked if the guard didn't do what he did, or made a second, not really holding, made a second effort, just blocking him as he was falling down. He's lined up here. He's more of a one tech in this one. He's actually, I could see he's like head up on on the guard. Both D tackles are head up on the guard. He's playing D tackle. He shows amazing get off for a guard or for a D tackle here. It's like at Oliver-esque when he was in college, where he can just get off and beats his guard clean and gets in the quarterback's face, forcing a bad pass. Boom. So the guard's already beat. The snap. He's on. What is that? He gets the ball. 1, 2, 3. He's on step 4 of his 5-step drop, and the guard's already beaten. Epenesa is about to be in his face. Now the guard does a little holding here, so we're not gonna talk about that. But he would have gotten cracked if the guard didn't do what he did, or made a second, not really holding, made a second effort, just blocking him as he was falling down. He's lined up here. He's more of a one tech in this one. He's actually, I could see he's like head up on on the guard. Both D tackles are head up on the guard. He's playing D tackle. He shows amazing get off for a guard or for a D tackle here. It's like at Oliver-esque when he was in college, where he can just get off and beats his guard clean and gets in the quarterback's face, forcing a bad pass. Boom. So the guard's already beat. The snap. He's on. What is that? He gets the ball. 1, 2, 3. He's on step 4 of his 5-step drop, and the guard's already beaten. Epenesa is about to be in his face. Now the guard does a little holding here, so we're not gonna talk about that. But he would have gotten cracked if the guard didn't do what he did, or made a second, not really holding, made a second effort, just blocking him as he was falling down. Here's a great play to show off his power. He just totally just manhandles his off the tackle, just pushes him back into him. He's right there, he's there as he's making the throw. Ball just left his hands. He's right there. His hands are on him, just from backing at that big 300-pound offensive tackle back into his lap. Okay, so this is what makes me excited for Epenesa to be on the Bills, because he's lined up in this entire last drive, this fourth quarter drive, when Iowa's up and they need to stop Minnesota. He lines up at the T-tackle position and just totally owns every player he goes against on the interior. It's just amazing. His play is amazing. He's gonna be on this. He's gonna be this one right here. This play, he just totally just blows past his guard. Gone. Just a quick little bench release. He's inside. Gets the pressure, forces him upfield. His teammates make the sack. Next play, same exact next play right away. Just gets inside move, uses his speed. Just uses there's a little fake out outside, this back inside, uses his speed, gets in there, boom, sack in the interior. Just amazing. His entire last drive of this game. If you want to see him being a great D tackle, just watch the entire last drive of this game. And that excites me because then on pass rushing downs, you can have Addison and Hughes on the outside, and then line up Epenesa and Oliver in like wide 3, have them shaded on both in the 3 technique. The middle of the field's gonna be wide open, but if it's an obvious 3rd and 7 or longer, you line them up on the very outside, so kind of like a wide 9, both in three shades on the D tackle, so they're kind of outside, and then wide on the edges, so you just get the quarterback. The center has to move a lot to be able to pick up one of the guys, so you just use your speed, get to the quarterback. It would be the perfect pass rushing set. Anyway, thanks you guys for watching. This is probably my favorite video I've made on this channel. I know the podcasts are always great, but I just love breaking down college players' films, and it's just my favorite thing to do. So if you liked what you saw, give us a like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, as well as going and checking our podcast on Spotify, SoundCloud, and here on YouTube. Until then, hopefully football comes back, and have a good one.